Your parents started from zero. Their parents started from zero. And when you turned 18, you started from zero too. No trust fund, no investments waiting for you. No one sat you down and explained the compound interest. You just got a diploma and a pat on the back. And now here you are, working hard, paying bills, maybe saving a little, but deep down you already know. Your kids are on track to start from zero too. That is not a failure. That is a cycle. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to break it. Most people hear generational wealth and think mansions, trust funds, last names on buildings. That is not what this is about. Generational wealth just means your kids do not start from scratch. It means when they turn 18, there is something waiting. Maybe it is $10,000 in an investment account. Maybe it is a paid-off car. Maybe it is just knowing how money works. According to the Federal Reserve, about 70% of American families will pass on zero financial assets to the next generation. Zero. That means 7 out of 10 families restart the entire game every single generation. Your grandparents worked hard. Your parents worked hard. You are working hard right now. But hard work without a transfer strategy means the next generation begins exactly where the last one started. The wealth never compounds. It just resets. And that reset is not because your family was lazy. It is because nobody taught them the rules. The truth is, generational wealth does not require a high income. It requires a plan, a simple one. And you can start it today with less money than you think. Here is why the cycle keeps repeating. There are 3 invisible walls that block most families from building wealth across generations. Wall number 1, no financial education. You were never taught how investing works. Your parents were not taught either. So every generation figures it out from scratch. By the time you understand compound interest, you have already lost 10 or 15 years of growth. Wall number 2, no safety net. When you grow up in a family with no savings, every emergency becomes a financial crisis. Your transmission goes out. That is $3,000 on a credit card. Your landlord raises rent. Now you are scrambling. A study from the Brookings Institution found that families with no inherited wealth are 4 times more likely to carry high interest debt. That is not a coincidence. When there is no cushion from the generation before you, debt fills the gap. Wall number 3, no assets to pass down. Your parents rented. They leased their cars. They had no retirement account. When they passed away or got too old to work, there was nothing to transfer. Not because they did not care, because the system never gave them a chance to accumulate. Each wall reinforces the others. No education leads to no savings. No savings leads to debt. Debt leads to no assets. No assets means your kids start at zero, and the cycle goes around again. But here's the part nobody tells you. You only need to break through one of these walls to change everything for the next generation. Now let's put real numbers to this, because this is where it gets wild. Say you were 25 years old. You start investing $200 a month into a basic index fund. That fund grows at an average of 10% per year. That is roughly what the stock market has averaged over the last 40 years. By the time you are 35, you have about $41,000. By 45, you have roughly $153,000. And by 55, you have about $353,000. That is solid. That is life-changing money. You should be proud of that. But now, watch what happens when you give your child a head start. Same $200 a month, same 10% average return, but instead of starting at 25, you open an investment account for your child the year they are born. By the time your child turns 10, the account has about $41,000. By 25, the age you started, they already have roughly $265,000. They have not contributed a single dollar of their own money yet. By 35, that account has grown to about $700,000. And by the time your child turns 55, that same $200 a month is now worth over $1,400,000. Read that number again. $1,400,000. You invested $200 a month. Your child, doing the exact same thing you did, ends up with $353,000. But the child who got a head start from birth ends up with $1,400,000. The difference is over $1 million. Same monthly amount, same market returns. The only difference is time. That is what generational wealth looks like in real numbers. You're not passing down a mansion. You're passing down a head start. And that head start is worth more than any inheritance you could ever imagine. A study from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances found that families who received even a modest inheritance, around $10,000, had 3 times the net worth of families who received nothing. Not because $10,000 is life-changing, but because it created a foundation, something to build on instead of starting from nothing. So if this math is so simple, why are 70% of families still passing on nothing? Because the system does not profit from generational wealth builders. It profits from people who start over every generation. Think about it. Every time a new generation starts from zero, the credit card companies get a brand new customer. The auto lenders get another 72-month loan at 12% interest. The rent-to-own stores get someone who cannot afford furniture up front. The check cashing places get someone without a bank account. The payday lenders get someone who is $300 short before Friday. Every one of these industries relies on a cycle of people who never got a head start. The financial education system is not broken by accident. Schools teach algebra and biology, but they do not teach you how a credit score works. They do not teach compound interest. They do not teach the difference between a Roth IRA and a savings account. And that is by design, because financially literate people are terrible customers for debt companies. A person who understands interest rates does not take a 24% car loan. A person who knows about index funds does not leave $50,000 sitting in a checking account earning 0.1%. The system needs each generation to learn the hard way. That way, each generation stays profitable. Your confusion is their revenue. Your fresh start is their business model. Now, the biggest objection people have is this: I am barely getting by myself. How am I supposed to build wealth for the next generation? That is a fair point. And here's the honest answer. You do not need to have it all figured out. You just need to start with 3 things. Step 1, open a custodial investment account for your child. This is an account you control until they turn 18. Most major brokerages let you open one with $0 to start. You can put in $25 a month. That is less than 1 takeout meal. At 10% average growth over 18 years. That $25 a month becomes about $15,000 by the time your child is an adult. That is $15,000 more than you started with. Step 2, get a basic life insurance policy. A $100,000 term life policy for a healthy 30-year-old costs about $15 a month. That is $15 a month to make sure your family is not destroyed financially if something happens to you. No inheritance needed, just insurance. Step 3, write a will. Only about 33% of Americans have a will. That means 2 out of 3 families will have the courts decide who gets what. A basic will costs $0 to $150 online. It takes about 30 minutes. These 3 steps, a custodial account, life insurance, and a will, cost less than $50 a month combined. That is the price of breaking a generational cycle. You're not trying to become a millionaire overnight. You're trying to make sure your kids do not start at 0. 2 people, both making $55,000 a year. Both have 1 child. Both grew up with nothing. Person A does what most people do. They focus on surviving. Every dollar goes to bills, rent, and keeping the lights on. They never open an investment account for their kid. They do not have life insurance. They do not have a will. They love their child. They work hard. But 18 years go by, and their kid graduates high school with exactly what they had: nothing. Their child takes out student loans, gets a credit card at 22% interest, finances a car at 14%. The cycle repeats. Person B earns the same $55,000. Same bills, same struggle. But person B opens a custodial investment account the month their child is born, $25 a month. Person B gets a $100,000 term life insurance policy for $15 a month. Person B writes a will online for $75 one afternoon. Total cost, less than $50 a month. After 18 years, person B's child has about $15,000 in an investment account. They have a $100,000 safety net if the worst happens, and there is a legal document that protects the family's plan. That $15,000 does not just pay for a car or a semester of school. If that child leaves it invested and adds their own $200 a month, by age 55, it could grow to over $1 million. Person A's child starts from zero. Person B's child starts from $15,000. Same income, same neighborhood, same love. The only difference is what person B learned, and the $50 a month they decided was worth it. This is not your fault. Nobody taught you this. Your parents did not know. Their parents did not know. The system was never designed for you to figure this out. But now you know. And knowing changes everything. You're not someone who just works hard and hopes it is enough anymore. You're someone who builds, someone who plans, someone who makes sure the next generation starts ahead. The cycle breaks with you, not with more money, not with a lucky break, just with knowledge and $50 a month. Subscribe, because nobody taught us this about money. So let's talk about it.